On Dead Space, my goal was to scare the heck out of one person. I wanted to make the scariest game. You know, you have to go in and go, I want to make the scariest game ever. Right? You don't go in and say, I want to make the third scariest. I think you can see it in the end product. It was just really a handcrafted game.
I'd like people to walk away and think that that was the scariest video game they've ever played. That it was new, it was fresh, but that it scared the crap out of them.
The scariest video game of all time. It is a subject for many debates. Depending on who you ask, the answer is always going to be different. And if you're like me, you haven't even come close to playing every scary game ever made. I'm constantly trying to catch up on the classics, and maybe someday my answer will change, but as of today, the original Dead Space is the scariest game I've ever played. The moment you crash land into the ship and you realize you're stuck there for a while, you knew you were in for something scary. I just remember watching as the necromorphs were attacking the squad on the other side of the glass. Then Daniels and Hammond start yelling for me to run.
Run, Isaac! Get the hell out of there!
Then when you finally reach the elevator and feel safe for a split second, one of the necromorphs start breaking through the elevator. And in my opinion, that sequence might just be the scariest moment of any game ever. There are several others that come to mind, like the first time you meet the Keeper in The Evil Within, after chapters of him being teased. Or the lady in the PT teaser when she's first standing in that hallway. Or in Resident Evil 7 when Jack Baker's breaking through the wall.
Don't worry, I'm still here. You're wasting your time.
Those are definitely up there as well. But for its time, I think Dead Space in the elevator sequence might top the list. So for today's video, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of Dead Space Remake, and see how it compares to what I consider to be the scariest game ever. You're probably going to be surprised with how many things I still prefer in the original. I'm going to be doing a comparison of the intro sequence, the performances, a deep dive into the level design changes and chapter transitions, the gameplay updates, audio design, and definitely the music. So if you haven't played the game and don't want any spoilers, you'll definitely want to come back and check this video out once you play through the game. I also maxed out every weapon in the remake, so I'll tell you which guns I thought were the best and show you examples of each one. So with that said, we have a lot to cover, so buckle up and join me while we crash land our way straight into the heart of the USG Ishimura. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, we're going to start off this review by talking about the intro sequences. You are now presented with the company logo and the new Dead Space logo. And I will say, I really like the new Dead Space logo. It's similar enough to the original, but has like a modern feel to it. Then you're instantly hit with a settings option. Then you start the game. You're going to notice that the title screen of the original game has been almost completely removed.
Isaac, it's me. Oh, I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything.
The thing I loved about the old title screen was just how creepy it was. It set the tone for what kind of audio experience and atmosphere you could expect.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
I think it would have been cool to get like a new Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song. Like that's so iconic to the original Dead Space. But hey, it's just a title screen, so I won't judge you too hard on that. So next, let's cover the intro sequences, where the crew is approaching the Ishimura for the first time. Let's start with the original game.
Now, where is she? There she is. We have visual contact.
So that's Ishimura. Impressive.
The USG Ishimura. Biggest planet cracker in her class. And it looks like they already popped the cork.
Now where is she?
There. Confirming visual contact with USG Ishimura.
What a beauty. Biggest planet cracker in her class, you know. And it looks like they already popped the cork.
Why is it all dark? I don't see any running lights.
Corporal, take us in closer and hail them. And stay clear of that debris field. We're here to fix their ship, not the other way around.
Why is it so dark? We should be able to see our running lights.
Yeah. I'll get us into hailing range. Someone's got to be waiting up for us.
Just be careful on the approach. I'm not taking any chances with the CEC's pride and joy.
So the crew has finally found the Ishimura and is prepping to dock the station.
Sounds like they're having problems with their encoder. You get us down there and Isaac and I can fix it. 48 hours max.
All right, you heard the lady. Take us in. Let's see what needs fixing.
Well, suddenly the ship is hit by something. And this is where the crew begins their crash landing maneuvers, and this is where Hammond comes in.
What the hell?
Sir, the auto dock.
What is it?
We're off track. We're gonna hit the hull.
Hit the blast shields. Their guidance tether's damaged. Switch to manual, now.
Inside the magnetic field? Are you insane? Abort!
No! We can make it inside. Corporal, gave you an order.
The field's too strong.
Is everyone okay?
What? What the hell were you thinking? Were you trying to get us killed?
I just saved our asses, Miss Daniels. If we had aborted at that speed and distance, we'd have smashed right into the side of the Ishimura. Now settle down, let's get to work.
Now that is a capable captain if I ever saw one. Took command and saved his crew, even with Daniels yelling in his face. I really love the back and forth between Daniels and Hammond here. It's really well voice acted and gets your attention right away. Now let's compare that to the remake.
What the hell is that?
Sounds like their communication array is busted. Maybe a broken encoder. Daniels and I can handle it in 48 hours, max.
Hey, that gives you plenty of time to catch up with Nicole.
Yeah, I hope so.
Jen, Johnson, take us in.
What you'll first notice is that the crew now straps into their seats before the crash sequence even begins.
Let's go.
I'm losing control.
Fuck! We're off course.
Daniels!
Guidance system override isn't responding.
Shit, we're coming in too hot. He's gonna smash us into the hull.
Jen, aim for that emergency stabilizer. There, the blue light. It might slow us down.
Got it.
Jump the blast shield. Everyone brace yourself. Everyone okay?
I'm good.
Good call on the stabilizer, Isaac.
Gotta always read the manual.
So since Hammond and Daniels sit down, you don't get that same composition of the characters placed right in the character's view. And there's no back and forth power struggle between Hammond and Daniels here. And there's pretty much no Hammond to be seen at all, actually. Other than telling them to drop the blast shields, Hammond doesn't really say much here at all. They replaced the part with Hammond giving out orders in the ship with Isaac giving out orders on his end. Which I was not a fan of this, actually. Isaac is not the captain or the pilot of the ship. He shouldn't be yelling commands from the back. I mean, if I was a pilot, I'd be like, hey, shut up. I'm trying to crash land this ship, you know? This is one of those situations where I think they should not have inserted Isaac's voice. Immediately, Hammond's character as the captain is changed. He went from the commanding leader of the ship to the guy off to the left that thanks Isaac for doing the good work. The reason I bring this up is because the original creators didn't want Isaac to be overly capable. They wanted him to be like an everyday guy.
But the whole idea of Isaac is an everyday guy and just someone who like lives next door to you, not like a superhero. And that's why he wasn't in charge of everything. And he wasn't in the military. And he found his guns and he found his weapons and he used tools. And that was the big deal with Isaac, is just trying to make him an everyday engineer.
Alright, so in the same intro, let's talk about Daniels a bit. Not only have they butchered her look, which is extremely depressing. I'm sorry, do we have to get rid of any semblance of sexuality in this game? God forbid a woman character have any sex appeal. She wasn't even that bad in the original, she just had tight clothes. But anyways, outside of Daniels' look being completely changed, Daniels just seems like a different person now. In the original, Daniels comes in and it sounds like she's almost like your big sister. She's like giving you shit for watching the video for the billionth time.
How many times you watched that thing? Guess you really miss her. Don't worry, we're almost there. You'll be able to look her up once we're on board. Sounds like you do have a lot of catching up to do.
Oh, you're watching that again? Jeez. Don't worry, loser. We'll be there soon so you can see her. It just seemed more like a sisterly giving you shit type of deal. Alright, before I go into more examples of Hammond and Daniels' changes, I want to touch on this opening section after the crash landing. Everything is going to feel very familiar if you played the first game. The squad approaches the entrance and enters the lobby. Everything in this walk-up looks amazing. They've really filled out the area with a bunch of objects too. I mean, look at all the updated monitors and lights and shit. But once you enter the lobby, there are two main differences that I noticed. The argument interaction between Hammond and Daniels is gone. The one where Daniels says she can't repair the elevator because there's no power.
Isaac, log in and see what you can find. Kendra, get that elevator back online.
Power's dead. I can't.
Then reroute the damn power.
Can you reroute power to the elevator?
If I can figure out why it's down.
The "we'll reroute the damn power" was a line that always stuck with me. I wish they could have included it in the remake somehow. Another iconic line that was removed just a few minutes later was the "open fire" line. This is right after the Necromorphs attack for the first time.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Not sure.
What the hell? I don't know. Something's in the room with us.
Jesus! Open fire! Open fire! Get the power!
Take it easy. Daniels, get those elevators running.
There's something in here with us.
Up there! Oh, God! Ken! No!
Daniels, get the doors open!
Almost! Get out of there! Kendra, the door!
That line was always so badass sounding. And I think they could have included it too. Like, he could have said like, open fire, and then he said like the new chin line. Here, I'm gonna show you an edited version that has it included.
Up there! Jesus! Open fire! Oh, God! Ken! No!
See, it could have worked. I mean, come on. I can't be the only one that loved these couple lines, man. They could have included them. The last thing about the intro is the comparison of probably the most iconic moment in all of Dead Space. The moment when you're running to the elevator and the Necromorph pries the elevator door open.
Run, Isaac! Get the hell out of there!
I do honestly think both these versions look great. And the moment you enter the elevator is also a little bit more scary in the original because the elevator is closed. In the original, you just get held up for a split second because you're waiting for the door to open, which always made me squirm a little bit. I do want to talk a bit more about the inclusion of Isaac's voice though, and how it kind of somewhat downgraded a couple of the main characters. I've already talked about him a bit, but I'm talking about Kendra Daniels and Zach Hammond. They not only changed the ages of the characters, which for some reason, I don't know why, but their ages are swapped now. I honestly don't see a good reason for why this happened other than they just wanted to. Hammond was the captain and leader of the crew. Making him a younger character made it seem off. I'm not sure why Hammond is hiding in the vents in the remake. I mean, the vents are the last place you want to be hiding. That's literally where the Necromorphs spawn.
Anyone there?
Hammond? Where are you?
In the vents, hoping they don't hear me.
Yeah, those things are everywhere.
No, the unitologists. They're all here on the crew deck.
Hammond? He must be in the vents on the crew deck.
They're bringing something in.
I'd say my main gripe with the new Hammond is just how doofy he seems in the remake. It's like he got the Toy Story 4 Buzz Lightyear treatment, where he goes from like a serious space ranger to an airhead.
It's a secret mission in uncharted space. Let's go!
I think I have to go.
Where are you going? Why?
Should we all go? Are we going?
No time to explain. Attack!
No time to explain.
Oh no! Hey, step right up, put your money down, get yourself a real Buzz Lightyear. Hey!
I really feel like they could have combined both Isaac's voice and kept the personalities of the original cast. I'm going to show you an example of a scene I edited together for a new version of this tram station scene, where I combined the old version of Hammond and Daniels with the new version of Isaac's voice, just to prove that you didn't need to change their personalities to make it work.
Isaac! Isaac! God, I can't believe you made it.
Isaac, we ran into more of them on the way over here. Are you okay?
They're everywhere.
More what? What the hell are those things? Is that the crew?
The ones I saw, some of them were wearing Ishimura uniforms.
Keep your voice down. Whatever they are, they're not friendly, and half the doors on this ship are locked because of the quarantine. Now, we have to get to the bridge, but first, we gotta repair the tram system.
You're crazy, Hammond. You're gonna get us all killed.
If you listen to me, I will get you out of here alive. Now, what's wrong with the tram?
There's a broken tram car blocking the tunnel. It's gridlocked the system, and the data board's burned out. I can't lift the lockdown or call the tram until we get a spare from the maintenance bay.
Damn it! Everything is on the other side of this quarantine. We can't reach it from here.
No, we can't. But you can.
I'll handle it. Just make sure there's power to the repair systems.
Isaac, if I can get to the bridge, I should be able to access the personnel files. You fix the tram, and I'll help you find Nicole.
Yeah, find somewhere safe. I'll be back soon.
Isaac, it's me. Oh, I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything.
They really fleshed out a lot of the characters, and definitely Nicole's character in a good way. Nicole feels like an actual physical character now. I always kind of remember wondering if Nicole was actually real in the original game. She seemed more like a ghost. It always felt like Isaac was making it all up in his head, and Nicole seemed so much more paranormal and creepy. There was one moment in the original that I did miss that they removed in the remake though. It's when the Valor crashes into the Ishimura.
USM Valor, this is Kendra Daniels on USG Ishimura. Come in. Do not open the escape pod. Damn it! Respond! Why did they open the pod? Damn it. Oh my god. It's headed right for us. Isaac! Isaac! Fuck out of there!
In the original, the Valor hits and you fall to the ground. The screen goes white, and in a state of shock, you start seeing a message from Nicole.
I wish I could just talk to someone. It's all falling apart here.
Isaac. Isaac, are you there? Thank God you're all right.
Yes! Finally! USM Valor, this is Kendra Daniels on the USG Ishimura. Do not open the escape pod. Repeat, do not open that escape pod. Do you read? We're too late.
The Valor!
It's heading right for you!
Brace yourself!
Nicole.
The remake just feels so different here. You completely lose that psychological feeling. The whiteout effect is so effective in creating unease and anticipation. You're like, okay, come back. Picture, come back. You're always wondering what you're going to see next.
Autopsy report, Dr. Nicole Brennan. Rig identifies the subject was Junior Engineer David Swenson.
And it's not like I like Nicole more in the original. I actually vastly prefer her in the remake. She is now voiced by Tanya Clark, who played her in Dead Space 2, and I think that actually ties both games together better now.
are you there? Come in, Isaac. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Look at the time difference. I'll call you back later.
It's okay. How you doing?
Good.
Nicole?
Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Look at the time difference. I'll call you back later.
It's okay. How you doing?
Good.
I do think they went a bit overboard with how old she looked, though. It's not like I hate it, but it's so far off from the original that it just feels weird, especially when you first see it. That'd be like inserting old Snake's look in Metal Gear Solid 4 into Metal Gear Solid 1 and just pretending like it didn't make a difference. I mean, it works, but it just gives that role a different tone and feeling. I will say my favorite update to Nicole, though, is definitely how you could see what she was going through in the Ishimura before it went to shit. The added in holograms and side missions really improved the world building and her character overall. After playing through the remake, more so than the original, I was able to connect the plot points together and kind of like visualize the events going on in the ship. The original wasn't necessarily hard, but I found it more presentable in the remake. I'll give you a good example of this. Early on in the game, when you're in the tram repair room, attempting to repair the tram car for the first time, you pick up an audio log from a worker named Benson. Benson is requesting a stasis module be brought down to tram maintenance.
Benson to engineering. You got a stasis module handy? We need one in tram maintenance stat. The autoloader's fried. I got a damaged tram car on the tracks, and if the whole system's gridlocked, guess who they're calling?
Temple here, sending a stasis module now. What happened to the autoloader?
No idea. A lot of shit's been breaking down. I keep hearing things. Down in the gears where no one could be. You know?
I know.
This is the same Benson that's telling you how to cut off their limbs.
This is Benson, Tram Engineering. We think we figured it out. Smith killed one. Listen, forget about shooting him in the body. You gotta cut off the limbs. Grab a cutter, anything like that. Cut him apart. It didn't die. We shot that fucker right between the eyes and it didn't die. Smith had to shoot its fucking arms and legs off. For God's sake, send help!
Then later on in the game, one of the rigs you can collect is from, you guessed it, Mr. Benson. This can be found right below the tram in the tram tunnel. So he must have been doing some repairs before succumbing to the necromorphs. See, this is the environment and overall storytelling that I was able to pick up earlier and easier in the remake. This next audio log is where Supervisor Dallas is cutting off his own limbs.
Processing log. Supervisor Second Engineer Dallas reporting. This will be my last report. I've seen what they do to the bodies, what they become. I can't let that happen to me. At least if I don't have any limbs, I won't be able to kill anyone when I'm infected. Please tell Dawn and the kids that I love them. Oh, God. One more. One more.
Supervisor Dallas, final log. I've made sure they can't leave this subdeck. But neither can I. I've seen what they do to the bodies, what they become. And I cannot let that happen to me. At least if I don't have any limbs, and I can't kill anyone when I'm infected. Please, tell Dawn and the kids that I love them. One more. Oh. Come on, man. Just one more.
This audio log always stuck with me because it was such a unique situation. A man that was cutting off his own limbs to avoid becoming a necromorph. And according to Dead Space Wiki, he is the only character in the franchise to attempt this method. I definitely prefer the original, it sounds more natural. I have two more examples. One is with Hammond and another with Daniels. This first one is the moment where Daniels informs you that she's received a message from the Valor.
Things are looking up. A military ship just docked in. The USM Valor. I don't know what it was doing out there. It must have gotten our distress signal. We can't talk to it until the comms array is fixed. I'm gonna hack the door to communications for you. Get in there and find the comms control station.
We did it! Isaac! A ship just shocked in. The USM Valor. They must have heard our SOS.
That fast? What's a military ship doing way out here?
Out on patrol? Whatever, right now I take a rescue from a fucking magpie. Head for communications. Once we fix the comms array, we can get all the answers we need.
I don't know if it's that magpie line, but I definitely prefer the original. Next one is with Hammond, and this is where he's telling you that the Valor is on a seek and destroy mission.
Isaac! Good, you made it inside. Listen, I just found the munitions log for the Valor. I don't think their presence here is a coincidence. They're not on reconnaissance and they're not on patrol. This ship is prepped for war. They're on a seek and destroy mission. Do you hear me?
The Valor's munition log. It wasn't just a nuke. They came loaded for war. Seek and destroy. This was no patrol. They knew about the Ishimura. Someone knew. We were all dead from the moment we arrived.
This one I don't even think is close. I think the original is 10 times better. I really like this version because it really got me nervous the first time I played it, because at first you're like, what the hell is he talking about? And then it cuts him off, so you're not sure if he's in trouble. It was great. But in the remake, he just casually delivers the line and then ends communication. It didn't seem very passionate or mysterious at all.
Exiting zero gravity. The air quality's improving. There's still pockets of gas trapped here and there.
Here and there, I can handle.
So now that we've talked about the main four characters, let's cover some of the others real quick. Elizabeth Cross is played by Sumali Montano, who has 3 notable roles in other games actually. She plays Erica Connors, Faith's mom in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Morgan Yu, the female version in Prey, and Yuna in Ghost of Tsushima.
Let the Earth God try to cover this up. Altman be praised. Mathius out.
Captain Benjamin Mathius is played by Jim Perry, who also plays Rise in Dying Light, Noah in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and Boozer in Days Gone.
What have you got on you? Is that blood?
Haley, I need you to listen. The Ishimura's overrun with fucking monsters. You didn't hear anything?
What? No, the comms are still out. Isaac...
We need the Killian fixed now. Got a damage report?
Yeah, it's there.
Haley Johnston in the remake is played by Erica Luttrell. Erica Luttrell, who also plays Zoe in Horizon Forbidden West, Bangalore in Apex Legends, and Emily Caldwin in Dishonored 2.
Could do that kind of damage to a planet cracker.
Next we got Aiden Chen, or aka Hammond's lover, is played by Chris Wu.
Does anyone else smell that?
Smell what?
Like something died in the air vents. Oh.
This appears to be the only video game role he's played so far, but he's a pretty recognizable actor.
I should have introduced myself better. I'm Tasha's boyfriend, Noah. She asked me to pick Kelvin up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terrence Kine. Remember, we spoke on the Valor.
If you're real, let me in. I need to destroy that cluster behind you.
Not yet. Escape on that shuttle and you'll kill us all.
And then Dr. Terrence Kine is played by Pej Vadat. Of all the characters, I think this is definitely one of the biggest downgrades in my opinion. Keith, who played Kine in 2008, made the character so much more quirky and interesting.
You've made it! Oh, thank God you made it. I've been following your progress. I know you want to repair the executive shuttle and leave this place, but escape is impossible at this point. The shuttle shock point drive is destroyed. No. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope.
Kine in the remake is just too nice and level-headed.
Mercer calls it the hive mind, nexus organism which controls these necromorphs telepathically.
Isaac. Make us.
Clark. All right. Dr. Brennan's nearest and dearest. We were colleagues, you know. Dr. Chalice Mercer.
And last but not least is Dr. Chalice Mercer, who is played by Farhan Tahir. And while Kine was the biggest downgrade, I think Mercer was the biggest upgrade. He is so intelligently calm and creepy in this game. You're not sure if you're about to sit down for therapy or get your eyes drilled out. In the original, Mercer just seemed like this crazy dude that was roaming around the ship.
This is what we have been waiting for. Don't listen to them. Come back! Come back!
The thing about Mercer in this new game is he feels like he strategically took over this place. I really loved his introduction in the Hunter Room, but my favorite scene of his is during the Temple death scene. Mercer uses stasis on Temple and kills him in slow motion.
No! God damn it!
And a slow death in stasis. I think your death will come faster.
You will play your part soon enough. Witness the conviction of a true believer!
When I first heard the announcement of Dead Space Remake, I instantly started imagining different parts of the game and how they could update it. And one room that always came to mind was the BART Room.
Don kept saying, Glenn, I got this sound for the BART, from the BART train. I've been writing it for years, and there's this horrible sound as I go under the bay in the tunnel, and I just want to use it. I'm like, all right, Don, go do it. So he comes back, and it's this horrible sound, and he puts it in this one part of the game where we have no action, no enemies, nothing, and all we're doing is blinking the light, and people just want to run out of that room. It's one of the, greatest moments in the game, but nothing's happening but sound and light. And from then on, I just said, Don, you're going to run with this, That was a great idea. So I was asking him the other day, you got any more of those BART train ideas?
So once I found this room in the remake, I was excited to compare them. So let's do it. Okay, first off, let's talk about the audio portion of it. I don't want to sound too negative here because I don't think the remake's version is bad, but I wish they would have kept the original sound design in this room. The original was intended to create fear and urge to leave the room because it was so unpleasant. That's really the thing I just did not get from this BART room this time around. Especially with the old interviews that exist out there, specifically talking about this room and how it came to be. It originating from a personal story about one of the audio designers, where he was using a real-life sound in his life, I feel like that moment needed to be preserved.
It was awful. It was like screeching, and I'm like, oh man, it's great, Because what we were looking for is how can we scare people just with sound, no monster, no nothing. And it's just and people are running in the room. There's not one enemy. There may be a dead guy in the corner, but there's nothing happening. And they are running into it. They're running into walls or bumping into. They are just trying to get out of that room. It's so awesome.
And as far as the visuals, the original had the flashing lights that were making the shadows go crazy all over the walls. And when you looked at the shadows, they were like almost intentionally designed to look like necromorph limbs. The remake obviously looks a little more realistic, but I prefer the visual design of the original. One of the scenes in this game I want to cover is the Captain Mathius rig scene. This is when Isaac is needing to find the captain's rig, which contains the codes to the command computer. This has got to be one of the remake's biggest visual updates. Let's compare by starting with the original game. Here, Isaac is entering into the morgue. This is where you'll find the captain's body. You can see it laying on the table in the next room. Head a little bit closer, and you're about to witness one of the most gruesome moments in the game. The infector grabs the captain's body and starts turning him into a necromorph right in front of you. While in the remake, you enter into the morgue, but the main difference here is you can fully explore this area and nothing will happen. This time, you actually need to enter into the room to trigger the event. Now that scene was badass. I love how the necromorph's head is kind of like laying on top of Isaac's body too, and it moves around naturally. That is some amazing animation right there. But I want to ask you this, is it better than the original? Is it more scary or even better executed? Of course, graphics wise and animation wise and just doing it a different way was refreshing, but I don't think it even sniffs the original when it comes to tension and horror. As soon as you enter the room, the game takes away control and you're just watching the cutscene. It's definitely not as scary. Playing a gameplay sequence with horror in it, that's way scarier. Is the scene in Resident Evil 7 where you're sitting at the table at the Baker Mansion scary? It's horrifying in a grotesque sense, but the real horror comes after this scene when you're alone, trying to escape the house. The unknown of where the Bakers are is where the real tension happens. Or The Evil Within, is the scene with Laura attacking you in the elevator scary? No, it's a cutscene. But just moments before this, where she's crawling all over the chain link fences, just out of reach, not knowing what she's gonna do or where she's gonna go, now that is fucking scary. The same scenario applies here in Dead Space. You're like, what the fuck is happening? Oh shit, it's standing up. It's on the other side of the glass. Okay, I'm surely safe for now. Oh shit, it's breaking through the glass. Now I gotta shoot this motherfucker. Oh fuck, the infector's coming through as well and trying to infect the other bodies. I need to shoot the infector, but the captain's body is attacking me. So then you're trying to shoot the infector before it brings any more necromorphs back to life, and then the captain's attacking you at the same time. I mean, shit. This is absolutely perfect horror, and one of the highlights of the original Dead Space for me. And even though I really love the remake's take on this scene, I vastly prefer the original, and I feel like it's just a lot more scary.
This damage report says there's a broken cargo lift just beyond the hangar doors. I'll open them now.
Entering zero gravity.
Alright, next up, I want to talk about some of the changes they made to the level design, such as how you reach different sections of the ship and the chapter transitions. In the remake, they've overhauled the level design to keep things fresh and give alternate ways of moving around the ship. The first thing is they changed the tram to now be an unlimited fast travel system. You'll just need to manually unlock each station before it's accessible for the rest of the game. And since the tram is now a moving object, you can arrive at a tram station with the tram not even present. It's really cool when you actually call the tram in and you see it coming down the tracks. In the 2008 version, it was basically used as the loading screen between chapters. I do kind of miss that feeling of entering the tram and the chapter ends, and then when you begin the next chapter, you're always wondering, what hellhole am I going to next? It was like you were going to sleep and waking up in another nightmare. The remake does away with this feeling, but it's for a good reason. This is where the new chapter transitions come in. Let's start off with the first chapter transition you experience in the game. This will be the end of Chapter 1. You just repaired the tram car, got the data board, and checked on the Kellion. Then Daniels and Hammond have instructed you to head to medical to find Captain Mathius' rig.
Isaac, you're closer to medical. You can double back and cut through maintenance. Find the captain's body and get his rig.
I can't access that information. Find the captain and you'll find his rig. With his authorization codes, I can crack this computer wide open.
Damn it. Isaac, I'm sending the tram back to your location. Get to the medical deck and find that rig as fast as you can.
This is the original path. Once you've entered into the flight lounge, you'll head through this back door and head straight. Take the elevator. And there you go. You're already at the tram station. And once you've entered in the tram, this is the end of Chapter 1, and then you'll begin Chapter 2.
Shh. Shh. It's all right, McCoy. He's here. Nothing to be afraid of.
Well, in the remake, this actually changes up a little bit. You take the same door in the back of the flight lounge, through the hallway, and down the exact same elevator. But once you arrive at this tram station, the tram isn't here this time. Now there is a new door where the bench used to be. The bench has actually been moved right inside this next room. And then there's an elevator to go down, through a couple hallways, and into a new room called Medical Cargo Depot. This room is important because this is where you see the first chapter title card appear. And I think everyone that sees this for the first time is like, whoa, they changed that up. That's pretty badass. And this is also the room where you'll find the kinesis module, the one you usually find from the lady at the entrance of medical.
Can I go now? Take me. The ship.
Use kinesis to move or throw objects.
Well, in the remake, after you've moved a couple containers, you'll head up this ramp and enter into the medical tram station and discover the next cool change they've made.
Don't. Gotta hold the line. They all came back.
She is here now as like a soldier in the same spot and is now armed with a pulse rifle, and it looks like a chest full of necromorph. I think this chapter transition and changing up to where she had the pulse rifle instead of the kinesis module was perfect. This is one of the many examples of the environmental storytelling being improved quite a bit. Yeah, the original lady was creepy and mysterious, but this moment is cool. You can see the bodies laying all around her, and you know she was holding off against her old team that turned into necromorphs. Then the last step is you head over to the console and call in the tram for the very first time.
Lifting station lockdown.
Next up is probably the one that everyone remembers the most, the Hangar 0G sequence. This is the Chapter 2 to Chapter 3 transition. In the original, you have just collected the captain's rig, and you need to head to engineering because the ship's orbit is decaying.
Shit, we've got bigger problems. The ship's engines are offline and our orbit is decaying. Get over to the engineering deck ASAP while I stay here and figure out what the problem is.
So you exit the medical security station and go through this hallway. And that's it. You're at the tram station. End of Chapter 2. You begin Chapter 3 and you have pretty much arrived at the engineering deck in about 2 minutes. In the remake, Hammond says that the engineering tram station is offline, so you're not going to be able to arrive at engineering in the same way.
Isaac.
I'm here. What the hell's happening?
The computer says the Ishimura's engines are offline. We're on a decaying orbit toward Aegis 7.
Oh, God. I have to get to engineering.
There's no time. That tram station's offline. Unless... Here. Head back to the flight deck. I'll guide you from there. If this damage report's right, there's a shortcut to engineering.
Isaac will head through the same hallway as the original and take the tram just like before. But the chapter doesn't end here. Since engineering is inaccessible in the remake, the player can't choose engineering while on the tram, so back to the flight deck we go.
Flight deck tram control.
This is where things change up drastically.
You'll need your thrusters to reach it, but that lift shaft should take you straight down to engineering.
And on top of being able to fly in this hangar, the player gets to fly around outside the hangar too.
Entering vacuum.
This section is so awesome because you can get a really good look at the ship and its ribs from the outside, and just the look at space is so pretty. But once you've explored this area and fought some enemies, you are now heading down this elevator shaft. Once you reach the bottom, you'll head through a couple hatches, up an elevator, and here we are, the engineering deck. Now that is a badass and much more memorable way of getting here.
I, Dr. Charles Mercer, shall serve as the catalyst to the salvation of our species. These specimens will return to Earth with me.
Our homecoming will be truly divine. And I doubt even you can stop a convergence event fueled by the entire population of Earth.
I will spread their divine glory across the entire planet.
You take these things to Earth, it's all over.
Only for the faithless. Humanity will be made whole, Mr. Clark, with or without you. I'd say you've chosen your side.
I will leave you with my creation. Embrace the inevitable.
Initiating cryogenic freeze. Training cycle successful. Transporting patient.
In the original game, you've just frozen the Hunter in the cryogenics lab, and Daniels has instructed you to head for hydroponics.
I've managed to override Mercer's lockdown. There's a secondary tram station nearby, and you can take it to hydroponics. Let's just hope there's enough time.
So you head through the back door of the observation room and down a hallway. You've arrived at the tram station in less than 30 seconds. You take the tram and arrive at hydroponics. It's definitely one of the more quick transitions. Just like the last one, in the remake, Daniels informs Isaac that the hydroponics tram station is sealed off, so you'll need to find a different route.
Isaac, our air quality is falling fast. If you've got liquid nitrogen, we gotta fix hydroponics.
On it.
Isaac, the hydroponics tram station is sealed off. You'll need another way there. Take the tram back towards the hangar, then head to the repair station. Remember where you took that broken tram car off the tracks? There's an access door in there that'll take you to hydroponics.
And look for the room that you first repaired the tram car. There is a door that we couldn't access before that is now unlocked towards the back of the room. Head through this long hallway, and there you go. We've arrived at Hydroponics tram station. You actually enter the station behind the glass this time. In the original, there was just this monitor on the wall, but now it's a door. So now just override the tram, and now we have access to hydroponics.
Station now accessible. Thank you for your patience.
The final chapter transition that I'm going to show you is from chapter 10 to 11. In the original, you've just defeated the Hunter with the jet engines, and Mercer has met his demise.
Your time has come. No need to be frightened. No reason to fight. Many have gone before us, and now it's time for us to take the voyage together. Transcend death. Future take its course. Join me as I gaze upon the face of God.
You go back through the crew quarters and back onto the tram. That concludes chapter 10. In the remake, you defeat the Hunter, and this time Mercer's death is quite different. Instead of dying to the infector, he is pulled down by the marker instead.
Bring convergence! Make us whole!
But once you've witnessed Mercer's death in the remake, instead of heading back through the crew quarters this time, you are instantly grabbed by one of the tentacles and dragged through some ducts. Once you defeat that tentacle, you end up in this room. I gotta say, I vastly prefer the original because it proves just how crazy Mercer was. I mean, who the hell would give themselves up like that? When it comes to horror games, nothing tops Dead Space when it comes to gameplay. Just the vast amount of variety in the game is unheard of. When you combine the stasis ability with its slow-mo capabilities, the kinesis module which allows you to manipulate the environment in so many ways, whether you're messing around and just throwing objects at enemies or just absolutely obliterating them with the new impalement mechanic. Impalement wasn't introduced until Dead Space 2, but I'm glad they decided to backlog it back into the original. It feels really good in this game. Then you have the 7 different weapons in the game, and each of them have their own unique attacks, which are very different than almost any other game. And on top of that, they have their secondary attacks as well. So in total, you really have about 14 different attacks. One of the funnest parts of the game was trying to figure out different combinations you could do with different guns, like combining the Force Gun's secondary attack, which was the Gravity Well, and then throwing down the Flamethrower's secondary attack, the Firewall. This was like collecting the necromorphs in one spot like firewood and roasting them like marshmallows. Or there was this cool one where I brought all these enemies in with the gravity well, and one of them was the exploder, shot his arm, and blew up the whole group. And I really like that they let you carry all the guns at once in your inventory, so your options are always limitless. As long as you have the inventory slots, you can carry all 7 guns at once and swap them in and out at any time. And the force gun showcases that new peeling system to its full glory. And after they'd stand back up, all you'd see was their internal organs and bones. It's pretty disgusting, but I love it. The flamethrower definitely felt more substantial in the remake. I used it a lot in the original, but not quite as much as I did in this game. And the secondary firewall attack is an absolute game changer, especially when you're wanting to buy yourself some time or block off a path. It's also perfect for stun locking enemies into place. And it was actually a perfect strategy for these wall guardians. Just shoot it right below them and watch them roast. Whenever I saw those guys, I pulled up the flamethrower and shot a firewall right below them. And it was like watching a campfire roar, man. Another cool detail I noticed with the flamethrower was how you couldn't use it outside in space. Since the vacuum of space doesn't contain oxygen, the fire couldn't exist. And I also liked how the enemies, after you burn them to death, they just looked all charred and burnt. The pulse rifle's secondary attack has now changed from a spinning area attack to a proximity mine, which I thought was way better overall. The line gun has a new secondary fire this time around. Instead of a time mine attack, they replaced it with laser traps. Contact beam, oh my god, it's been completely changed up now. The primary attack is now a continuous laser beam that is really good for range and it looks so cool. This beam and the gravity well are probably the standouts when it comes to presentation. And the contact beam's secondary attack is this massive charge attack that's easily the most powerful attack in the game. I will say if I had one minor complaint about the guns, is that the UI that pops up after you switch weapons, while you're in the heat of battle, it can stay up in the middle of the screen and right on top of your reticle for a second too long. It'd be nice if they put out an update to make the UI disappear when you aim your gun. I think that would definitely fix it. I also thought it was really cool when you were like reloading your gun in zero gravity. It has the clip floating next to you. I don't know why, but that was so awesome the first time I saw it. Being attacked in safe rooms is way more common now. Other than the tram, you really aren't safe anywhere anymore.
Some readouts here.
Hammond, a couple of bad strikes.
Shit.
The Hunter is a lot more present and active in this game. In new areas of this game, he will actually appear and try and attack you.
Quarantine shit with that Hunter there, the system can't lift the lockdown.
Override the manual door release!
I'll try.
And this definitely added to the tension in a good way. Just like Resident Evil 2's Mr. X, you never knew where he was, but he was always on your mind.
Almost there. Hold it off.
One of the things I was most worried about going into this remake was that Jason Graves wasn't returning as the composer. Seeing that he was the composer of 6 Dead Space games, it was a bit surprising that he wasn't like leading this charge to the resurgence of Dead Space. This time around, they were handing the reins over to debut video game composer Trevor Garrikus. But then later on, we learned that the original score was still going to be used to some capacity, but Trevor was going to come in and expand the music to coincide with new narrative elements in different areas in the game, like the tram stations or the zero-G sections. But in my opinion, I think Trevor did an amazing job. Some of the new tracks in this game are actually among the best in the series now. This track is so eerie and relaxing at the same time. This music, combined with the zero-G, definitely makes it very different to the almost silent zero-G sections of the original.
Entering zero gravity.
Though I think the atmosphere of the original and the loneliness is lost, the new music still gives off that feeling of isolation and loneliness, and in my opinion it's much more pleasant to listen to. So I'd say I prefer the new zero-G sections a lot more. I also really love the track that would play in the tram stations. It sounds so mysterious and sci-fi. In the original game, you didn't really get music per se in the tram stations. It was more about the sound effects around the station, like train sounds and voices. It was meant to feel more alone. I love the isolation and loneliness of the original, but I would choose the new music any day because the tram station music is so awesome. Trevor also wrote a new song for the Leviathan fight, which is quite a bit different. I actually don't really remember the new track while I was fighting the boss. It seemed more like a subtle backdrop to the gameplay. If you listen to the new Leviathan song outside of the gameplay, it actually has a lot of monster sound effects in the song. Yeah, that's not gameplay, that's straight from the soundtrack. So I kind of get why in gameplay I just assumed that was the boss making noises. And I don't want to forget about the two theme songs for this game. Let me play you a comparison between the 2008 version and the 2023 theme. I'm just gonna say these two are a tie for me, because I really like both tracks.
But don't worry. It will be in good hands now. Far away from this damn place. Goodbye, Isaac.
I do want to touch on one last music section. This was actually right after Nicole was revealed dead. Part where Daniels runs off with the marker. There's this moment right after this that I thought there was a pretty big downgrade with the music. So as soon as you enter this door, in anticipation of something coming up, in this case it's the lead up to the Hive Mind boss fight. This music is fantastic and intense. It definitely raises your blood pressure, wondering what the hell is about to happen. It definitely has that you're about to fight the last boss feeling. In the remake, the music has been dialed back quite a bit, and I think it lost that anticipated horror feeling that I got in the original.
The shuttle. I can still make it before she leaves.
When I look back at the music of this game, the original is definitely more scary, while the remake is more mysterious. I gotta say, the absence of Dead Space for the last 10 years has been pretty depressing, so I'm glad to see it back. It's not perfect, but it's close. I want to take a quick second to thank everyone that watched my top 10 games of 2022 and helped me pass that 10,000 view mark for the first time ever. And I'm just so excited because I have a lot of reviews and countdowns planned, so there's going to be no shortage of content here. Anyways guys, thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay in the light my friends. Later.